Okay, I'm seeing that we're live on LinkedIn. Waiting for the first few minutes for the people to join. We're seeing how many to join here. 3 minutes in, and we're gonna kind of go over all the tricks and tips and strategies I've had on how to build LinkedIn, how to build your presence here. I'm going to say hi and give call outs. Leanne Huffman. Part of the strategy is feel free to also connect with anyone in the class because anyone in this class is of the same mindset, shall we say. Okay, what are we going to cover in this class? Opportunities you're missing out on, strategies you could have, any ideas which could help you grow your LinkedIn. Strategy number one, get in the room with the right people. I've been very lucky and blessed that LinkedIn has helped me get in the room with the right people. Strategy two, posts that help you grow. Sometimes I find certain posts work better than others. And strategy three, become a connector, not a collector. I think everyone I know is guilty of that, where especially you're trying to make deals happen, you focus on the deal, and I always try to remind myself often to be that connector. Then I'll do bonus tips, and then a live Q&A as long as we can go. And also I want to have this fun, so this chat in the comments is incredible. Please keep it going. So starting off, why did I make RTM Retail Tech Media Nexus? It's my three worlds, retail, tech, and media, all combined, Nexus connecting. And to start off, you'll see these three different windows here. The first being the board roles, second being the speaking, and the third being this event. And each of these has come out of and was born out of LinkedIn. Every one of these board roles, I used to joke all the time, they wouldn't care that I was a 6-time CEO or any of that. They cared about the 30,000 followers. That became the number one deliverable. People like seeing that number of followers, seeing who you're connected with. The speaking had a similar and different because every time I speak, it kind of feeds more of it. And they'll say, oh, I see you're on stage. In this case, it was a wonderful panel with Millennium Alliance, and these are some star players I was lucky enough to be on the stage with. And then a lot of people say, I see you're connected with so-and-so from the panel. And all these opportunities have, thank God, were fed to me from LinkedIn, from doing these kind of strategies. The third, of course, is this class itself. You could see we had 200 people register. We have 30 people live on a Thursday morning. Some of you even West Coasters getting up early, and I'm very appreciative, again, of all those West Coasters getting up early for this. But this is all born out of that wonderful opportunity that LinkedIn has given me. I think LinkedIn, I always say, is one of the best marketing tools, one of the best messaging tools within the business world. This is what has fed me. So I think let me see, I covered all those points pretty good. Let's go to the next slide. There we are. Strategy number one, get in the room. Be strategic with who you engage. And the room to me is LinkedIn. This is something that really, it's so hard. This is something that really helped. I think you have to think of LinkedIn as the room. It's the conference hall. It is the place. Imagine this conference, and I'm lucky I have 30,000 followers, but whatever your followers, that's the room. And the trick to me, comment on their post and engage with the people. So one great example, my friendship with Linda, she's in our chat. I mean, that was just commenting on her posts and vice versa, because we're both in the same LinkedIn room. The more you comment, though, the more other people see effects. So I'm going to point out people on purpose to speak to this. So I'm speaking with Linda, and then you'll see in the chat Melissa, and she sees the comments because I'm commenting with Linda. Melissa's jumping in, and me and Melissa have developed our own relationship, which is amazing. Linda and Melissa are both on the Leadership Council for RTM Nexus, which is wonderful. So I think you have to think of the first strategy is you're in the room with these people. You're engaging when you're speaking to these your connections and the right connections. People see you are talking with each other. One of the tricks I try to do is I have a sheet of people that I want to make sure I keep at the forefront of my mind and he's engaging with, and I'm always speaking with, I'm always having these conversations with. Um, and that is truly wonderful, to be honest. But by hitting those people, I usually kind of break it down into two blocks. The first are you want to hit people who have the widest reach. If you hit somebody who has 100 followers, it's not going to have the impact and comment on their posts. If you comment on someone with 30,000 followers. So the first part of this strategy is hitting those people with a wide reach. But should it be exclusive? No. You also want to hit people within that area. So if your business is more in data science, maybe you want to hit the top 10 data science people. They might not have 30,000 followers. Data science is not a specific field that there'll be major following, but you have those people. So yes, engage with the two demographics, the 30,000 followers, those people with big reach, whatever size, the bigger, the better for that. And then on the other side of it, you want to connect with those people who are direct in the room, that just are the influential people. The more people see that, the more we'll start to create those inbound relationships. People saying, oh my goodness, you're friends with Melissa and Linda. That's amazing. I want to talk to you too. So strategy one, be in the room and interact with it like you're in a big conference room. But here we go. Let's jump to the magic slide number 2, unless I didn't cover it all. I think I did. Second, connections. So that's the trick to me on LinkedIn. Everything is based on your connections. So I tried describing it to people visually like a circle. And you have one circle, and your second are all those people you're connected with, and then that. So your first connections are the first relationships, and I think, thank God, all of you guys here in this chat are my first relationships. Your second are those connected out. So I mentioned as my guinea pigs, Linda and Melissa. So anyone I'm not connected with, but they're a second. But you can't touch them until you get those firsts. And that's something I find good and bad. The way it's good is, number one, it's easier to connect with. So if I'm trying to get with a certain person, I might hit all the seconds around that person to get that introduction. Secondly, you can use it as a warm intro potential. I see one of my friends, Scott, is a master networker. He'll do that. He'll say, hey, Dominic, do you know so-and-so? And you use that. But there's also, you see number 3, you can use this strategically. One of the ways you can use it strategically is I like having second connections and emphasizing them, like it in the first slide, but those who are of influence. And I'm also cautious now. And the way I'm cautious is I try not having second connections who I won't endorse. So if you look at my profile, I don't think I have people who are doing SEO building or nothing against such fields, just not in the field I'm pushing. I'm pushing constantly that leadership. So my connections, 9,000 of my 30 are C-suite, 9,000. And that really makes a difference. So when people see me, I also don't want that effect. I had a situation when I say good and bad recently where someone said, oh, this guy hit me up and wanted to work with me. And do you endorse him? No, I didn't know this guy. So I'm always of my network. And I always want to make sure that my network, it's mine. That's your asset. But it's like with every relationship. Your friends are yours. Your family are yours. So I'm always very big on that. And you see, I say expand your network strategically. I'm always looking to say who in this field is who I want to meet. If I'm doing more speaking, I want to talk to the heads of the conferences, for example. But it's also, you see, number 4, you can get that insight into the network. By networking with people, seeing who they're talking to, you can start to say whose world is whose. So I've been very, very lucky to be within the area of certain people in the retail influence space. I'm very happy to be connected with these, and you kind of start to see those worlds. I also had a conversation recently. Someone was asking for help with leads and connections. And I said, When you're using LinkedIn, let's think of it's all people. So when I say strategically, who are those people you want to connect with? So this one person wanted leads, wanted heads of furniture stores of a certain size. Let's just make a list of all the furniture stores and strategically find that CTO, all those furniture stores, and it was only X amount. So to strategically get there, I suggested, maybe you can't connect with the CTO, but let's connect with the CEO, the COO, the CTO, the CMO, and eventually, by making that middle connection, let's pretend this is you, you have the COO, and you can get to the CTO. So in summary, your seconds are that first step. You could see that example here. Those are people who I'm only able to connect to because of, in this screenshot, those 21 examples, 21 mutuals or however it may be. You could ask people in your network for that warm intro. If you have a target person, you can be very strategic. And finally, you should be cautious of who you're connecting with sometimes, because in a way, by you being connected, it's almost an endorsement, and you do not want to have a situation of somebody saying, why are you connected with so-and-so? That's not as good. I think I covered all these ones on this. Thank you so much. Posts that help you grow. You know, I started in the world of media. I'm very lucky that I'm on TV and such, and it kind of gave that foundation, which is LinkedIn, TV, social media, humans. It's all the same. We love shareable content. I try selfies with tags. I try gratitude, upcoming panels, collaborations. In this post, I did subliminally. I just said, I'm super excited about this. I meant it. I am excited. It's a cool panel. I have 3 strong women on this panel. This is going to be great. And I try to show that. I'm trying to tag the people I'm excited about. I'm trying to emphasize this means something to me. A lot of times on LinkedIn, we're sharing content, unfortunately, which is important to you. But I say, when you think of shareable content, I think, will the other person share this? Is this content so important that someone else will see it? And generally, if you're sharing like a white paper or an ebook, I don't know if I would share it. If I see a panel like this, I might, as another person, say, oh, wow, that's so cool. Layla, Kate, and Paola are on this panel. Maybe I want to go. Maybe I'll tag someone I know saying, are you going to this event? Would you like to go? Maybe I'll message it to somebody. And you always want to display that. One thing I used to do that I probably will restart. I used to actually at one point have a thank you a day. Thank you so much to so-and-so. I probably got to restart that. So that's just something I realized myself. And having that gratitude is also another way. Etc. You know, you'll see that avoid overly corporate content. And I think it speaks to the ebook, but really it's overall mentality. You know, I've walked into retail from I think a friend of mine, Georgia and Bender, mentioned it was like the other side of the mirror. We're from the corporate world saying what's important to us. And on this other side of the media, when I was on media and consumer side, has been what's important to the consumer, what's going to sell that product. And if you think of the posts you make, you always want to have that. What's going to make people say that's fun, that's exciting, that's interesting. LinkedIn is tougher. It's not an Instagram feed. Instagram, you could say I'm at the coolest party, I'm traveling the world. But a different example, I know someone on social who he says he posts every week a photo of New York City and it goes well. But truly, you're not thinking from the perspective of what's important to you, but what the other person is going to care about. And that's not easy when you're speaking to a wide audience. Sometimes I look in reverse at data. Right now I'm glancing here. You'll see my eyes. I'm looking. Is that number of people here increasing? What's the content? What's the comments? And that's the only feedback you'll get, which is not a horrible thing. You're going to start to see the more you create things that people enjoy, they're going to feed back to you. You're going to see this data come back at you. I think if you're leading by the human first, the data will come. You'll see the net results coming out of that. All right, let's see what we got next. Become a connector, not a collector. So I'm kind of proud of this. 2 things. I mean, number one, people see the connections, and that's why we created the RTM Nexus to help create those connections. And I try introducing people every day. It's not for business development. It is goodwill. It feeds both parties. So in this case, I introduced the one gentleman, and he said thank you. Both people actually wrote to me thank you. I have the screenshot for the one guy, and I have a text from the other guy. Both people said thank you. So I started introducing people daily. Some of you guys I've introduced to others in this own chat. And I think the power of introducing people is palpable because you're giving right away. When you do one introduction, you're having two people who are thanking you. The people are seeing you as the expert. You're the person. You are that person. Sometimes you could introduce strategically. I had somebody who was constantly introducing me to opportunities that was not a fit for him. And he said, I know I'm not going to be a fit for this, but you might be. So let's see. And he said once he was so happy he did because I got involved with the company. He didn't, but he just wanted to keep himself in the relationship. So he did the introduction on purpose. I think human nature is we do the reverse. We don't share opportunities. We don't connect people because we want our own opportunities. But maybe by connecting people, you're creating more opportunities for everybody involved. And I just hope it's a good example of that. So I try once a day to just introduce people where it's fit, whenever I can. You're building relationships, and that to me is so important. I also try to comment in the comments. You'll see I'll say thank you a lot. I'll try to keep in touch. One of the other tricks I do is I have what I call my airport call list, which is when I'm in the airport waiting for a flight, I will have X number of people I haven't talked to, and I'll kind of mentally rotate and I'll move people up and down. I haven't talked to them in a month. And I probably have been guilty of making this call more than one. Oh my God, I didn't even realize I had to call. That's amazing. One connect to the other. Sorry, I got excited. Um, but yeah, I make this call list, and at times I'll call everybody and I feel guilty. Someone said, "Oh, you're just racing off the phone." It's no, I'm secretly at the airport. Um, I will try to connect with as many people as I can while I'm waiting for that flight. When I'm in a car ride, I have, thank God, a condo in Quebec City, and there was one time I did an 8-hour drive. I think I did about 60 to 80 phone calls that day. Easily. It was 5, 10 minutes, but I just wanted to keep that in touch. You don't want relationships to go cold, and you don't want to not have it. You need to always keep in touch on that. And sometimes it's tough. Michael gave a great point. You can't grow without trying to help someone else grow. There's also a danger, when you're trying to maintain relationships and trying to grow and trying to build a big network. How do you possibly find the time? And I struggle with this all the time, and I'm always trying. I'm trying and I'm failing. I'm trying and I'm failing to get to that point of keeping in touch. And that's why also I do in the comments, etc. And a lot of times I jokingly say I'll wait on a Starbucks line. I'll go through and comment on anything recent because I just want to keep in touch. You have to nurture your connections, but it is always that metaphor of Atlas pushing the boulder up the hill. You're always trying, but it's just the bigger you get the network, it's tough, but you do your best and you try your best, and hopefully people understand your motive. I tend the best with it, and hopefully people see that. I think I covered that. Thank you. Bonus tips. I think I'm doing the right timing here. I'm proud of myself right now. First of all, I want to comment on, I saw Isabella's code. It's just like building a network of trusted advisors and family you choose. Absolutely. My call list is too long at times, and I love that. Bonus tips. Use job changes as a tool. Use this feature strategically. We have a leadership council. You guys could apply, and or you could apply to be a mentor on RTM Nexus, and those are jobs. Job announcements get pushed in the LinkedIn algorithm. Everyone gets notified, and usually they're the most liked. So I always recommend people to use titles as a tool to push the network. And it's just really the best networking effect. I noticed recently when I launched RTM Nexus, I announced A, my previous role was ending, and then I announced B, my new role. And I think in a way, those two social job pushes really pushed the limit. Very lucky for that. So use job titles as often as possible. If you have even a change of title, that's fine. I knew a guy, he had every few months he would do like senior VP, super senior VP, senior VP of data. And he was kind of extreming it, but it is a push. It was one week he did a daily job announcement where he just changed one letter. Too far. As long as they're legitimate. So I also encourage you guys, we have the Leadership Council, you guys can always apply. RTM Nexus, you can fill in the form. Two, it's your invite limit. First of all the LinkedIn algorithms are a mystery wrapped in enigma. They are not necessarily clear on them all, but I think it's about 50, sometimes 100. It depends on where you're at. You kind of hit that limit. As with all things, you don't only, my accountant godfather used to say, pigs get slaughtered. You don't want to be a pig about it, but you want to go as far as you can. Usually LinkedIn will have a warning of 2 lights, which is not a negative warning. Like they'll just, you're growing your network incredibly is the first one. And the second one is something like, you're almost at your limit. And at that point, maybe do 1 or 2 more and that's it. But you want to hit your limit. And those limits, I think, reset on Sundays, if I'm not mistaken, Sunday into Monday. And every week you get a new limit. So I try, if you think about it, you want to grow to 30,000, etc. You want to hit those every week. If you're doing 100, I mean, not mic, knock off the mic. That'll be awkward. So you want to hit that limit as much as you can. If you imagine you hit 100 a week in 1 year, if everyone accepts, you're looking at 5,000 in a year. Not everyone will. Bonus tip number 3. I always will do it. You have the magic QR code on LinkedIn on the app. So QR code, and you hold it up to people you meet and you say, hey, would you like to connect? Amazing. When you do that, I think it's just easy for people. This one I feel bad about, but you have a lot of connections. This happens. Give yourself clues to remember why you connected. So one of the tricks I do is once we have a meeting, you might notice, and I feel embarrassed admitting it, I will send a message to you where I'm subliminally recapping it. So good to meet you at the XYZ conference when I met you off stage and we discussed data science. Admittedly, you meet a lot of people, and there's just no physical way. If you go to a conference, you meet 100 people, you're not going to remember. So I send a message to the people I meet, kind of thanking them for that moment, but also spelling out what I'm thanking them for and what that moment was. And in doing so, it's a memory trigger. It's a way it's visual. It's a way when you look into it. I had a situation a few months ago where, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but it was Albert XYZ, let's say. And I have 6 connections with the exact same name. And he called me and said, could we talk about something? And I truly looked and I was dumbfounded. And I had to find him on LinkedIn, find the message, and it really was that trigger. And thank God I even went to my iPhone. I saw I took a selfie with them. So in addition, I take the selfies, which I'm going to slide that bonus tip right in the middle. You won't know what it is. Selfies was a great trick because it also helped remind me. And it was also a great thing that went viral. So that's why I posted selfies. They go viral. People remember. It's wonderful. Bonus tip. If you have a decent following and want to advance your career, apply for speaking. Our team Nexus does the leads, but we also have a B2B PR division. I'm blessed to have the PR people on my team who are pushing me to go to these conferences and speaking, etc. And the more you're doing that, the more you're increasing your authority. You'll see a list of everyone I spoke at to give you the idea, brandino.com, and I keep a list of speaking and TV. And that's all due to my team, and I'm very thankful. By the team pushing that message, it increases your overall authority. And even if it's local schools, etc. Yes, now we have the Q&A portion where it's that socially awkward first 15 seconds where I'm hoping everyone pops questions in the chat. But it's reliant on those questions coming, even though there's a slight LinkedIn delay. So for the moment I'm speaking, I'm actually looking at the LinkedIn. See, it's the previous slide. So I will, first of all, thank everyone for joining this 30-minute class. And I realize I hit the 30-minute mark pretty decently. And B, this is an ongoing experience we're trying to build, and that's why your questions and building a community and building a network is to me so vital. I also want to thank the fact I'm seeing right now live, we have 40 people live. It's incredible. I don't think I've seen 40 live on a LinkedIn Live in a while. So that just warms my heart to see so many people involved here. I'm getting a real texts and WhatsApp messages from people. Oh, I wish I could make it. Can you send me a recording? And we're going to work on all that too, the recording, etc., assuming I recorded correctly, which is 50-50. But do you guys have any questions in the chat? Any other theories? A lot of it, one big question I get is how often you should work on LinkedIn. And it's not an incredible amount of time. I will spend conservatively 15 to 20 minutes minimal on a Monday. And it is a matter of just connecting. It's connecting with those people. It is Monday. I will just go through the major list. Vanessa, let's have you join here because you're seeing the questions faster than I, and I would love it if you could read them to me.
Sure.
This is Vanessa, everyone.
Doing well. All right. So Michael asked, can you show how to get the QR code in case someone doesn't know?
That one's a great one, Michael. Michael, you're an amazing wingman, too, for leading that question, so I thank you. On the app, it's best on the app. You see, here I am on the happy page. There's my friend Dan. He's in this. Let me like Dan's post because it's just instinct. You go to the search feature, and then you'll see the QR there. And when you click the QR there, you have
your phone a little bit more, so you can see better.
Oh, sorry.
Can you go back a step?
I'm going to go back a step. Thank you for that. I need that. So you have the search, and you go right here where it says QR code. Sorry, let me do that. Couldn't see it. And there you go. You have the code and the camera scan, which is right there. So the camera scan will let you scan someone else's code. The QR lets them scan you. If you break 30,000, you are allowed more followers. So that I should mention that too. You're allowed only 30,000 connections. Followers are theoretically infinite. So if theoretically someone in this chat has 30,000, you want to encourage them to scan you so they can follow you because that number goes up by infinity. Next question.
So Zachary asks, how do you manage building your personal brand when you want to be in multiple spaces? For example, I'm in branding/marketing and also the hospitality industries.
That's a great question because I'm in retail, tech, and media. So I get it all too well. It's a challenge. Sometimes I'm consciously trying to think of messaging that covers all three. If you're in hospitality, etc., there are ways. Every business is not insular. Every business is not singular. So there are ways of connecting messaging so that you can really cover 1, 2, 3. But also I mentioned like Mondays, how I started. Mondays I'll have the people connect with. Maybe you start putting a rotation where you say, week 1, you're covering retail, then week 2, you're covering tech, week 3, you're covering media. It's not hard. It's just you have to make a system to do it.
Linda asked, how long did it take you to get to 30K connections?
Yeah, I'm only 27 years old, so it took me about 3 years of my life, pretty quick. A lot of it was using these tricks, first of all. It jumps, and I'm saying that because if I go to a conference, I go up 200 connections. I will meet people and connect. If I'm speaking on stage, if I go on TV. But I say that because that's the speed, that influences speed. But it's also those connecting others. I know a guy, he jumped to 30,000 in 2 or 3 years by commenting on only people who were 30,000 plus. He just wanted to hit those big circles. Hold on. I heard the mic go whacking for a second. I don't know. It's okay. I will buy time till the next question. I'm looking, by the way, at the chat, and I see we're getting hit on the chat, which is good, but I don't see it in here. Probably because I'm logged in. Oh, I'm an idiot. I see it now by hitting the other button. I love Isabella. Try to keep in touch. Great network. How do you say just approaching them since they are now C-suite? I love that question, Isabella. And sorry, guys, you're supposed to hit a button to find the questions, and I didn't think of that, so I'm an idiot. Isabella, connecting with people above or below, it is Number one, the mentality you see in this chat right now. Everyone's like, connect with me. That's amazing. If someone's a C-suite, introduce them to another C-suite. You're just in the middle. Number three, you'll see RTM Nexus. I made the mentoring platform to it. That's the idea. Sometimes just you say, I just want your opinion. I just want your advice. I had a phone call from someone and they said, I know you don't have a lot of time. Can you just give me advice? I'm sorry? I do. That's a tough one, James. And James has been a friend for so long. I got to give him a good answer, too. And especially James. James, I know you have a heart of gold, and I'm sure people are hitting you up all the time. That's the real challenge. I get hit up. My business is making leads for people. My business is the B2B PR, but that's also what they sometimes ask me as a favor. And I always think you wouldn't ask as a favor a mechanic friend to fix your car. You would ask your mechanic friend, hey, can you tell me, am I being screwed over by this guy? Or can you tell me, hey, it doesn't look like I need this repair? So I'm always socially cautious of it. But I think you can't ask also without giving too sometimes. I always try to. Do I succeed? No, but I try to. I always try to give as much as whenever I need some help too. But I don't always succeed. It's not easy. It's a constant challenge. I'll see Elijah's next. Is it wise to use events like this to ask to connect with individuals attending? You can see this chat. Everyone's friendly. I think it does depend on the mindset. This particular chat, we're welcoming this. In fact, we're going to mention later, we're going to be launching a cohort, but we'll get to that. Um, I like the next one, though. Aaron said, when do you remove connections? I remove when the relationship's toxic in any way, I do remove it. I remove connections that are, hitting up. I just had somebody recently call me out of the blue they pulled my phone number, they pulled everything, and I thought, I don't need that. Mariko, that's so kind. What do you know today that you wish you'd known when you began this journey? By Scott. That's a great question. The simple answer is number one, start early. When's the best time to plant a tree? As soon as you can, and eventually the tree grows. I think I wish I know to start early. Joanna. Oh my God, I love all my friends here. Do you suggest daily posts? I suggest posting as much content as relevant and people will engage with. That could be daily. It might not be. I've had that challenge. It was a day. And, oh God, this is going to sound like such a weird brag. I was on TV 5 times in one day, and I kind of slowed it down and spread it across at that point. But I was proud of what I did, but I also think there were nice video clips. So you have to weigh that. LinkedIn, Alexandra Solomon. Sometimes folks don't respond well to LinkedIn chats. When is a good way to get their emails when connecting as well? It does depend. Sometimes I say to people, how do you want to connect? Are you a WhatsApp? Are you a text? Are you an email? I ask directly, what is that best way? I think we're getting to the point Q&A is wrapping up, and we wanted to go over the 2 other things we have. First, are you serious about growing the influence? We have a 6-week influence accelerator cohort where you'll get weekly live sessions, a dedicated Slack channel, collaborative growth, networking with intention. We're going to do feedback and coaching. We're going to guide you guys along this journey. You can go to right there to cohort, sign up. You can scan the code. You can save the link, think about it. And the idea is we're going to launch this cohort and kind of guide everyone along their journey every week. And we're going to hopefully accelerate it. And by also having the collaborative cohort effort, we could help each other raise things up. Show me the next slide, Vanessa. I hope I covered all that so far. Oh, the cohort starting, thank you, May 5th. So you have a little bit of time. Chris Palermo, I love your comment. How many had to go profile to calculate if you really was 27 years old? Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. You are now my favorite. Whatever Chris wants, Chris gets at this point in the conversation. But if you guys need anybody A, you have the cohort. B, if you have any connections, we're doing RTM Nexus. We're all about the connecting and reaching that target audience you need, whether it be leads, whether it be reaching by video. And the whole idea is the Nexus being that central connection between retail, tech, and media. You have this cohort class, and I'm looking at my final notes. I want to thank everybody. You guys have been incredible and gave me such joy that we had 40 plus people. Um, and really reach out and thank you so much for this feedback. This is wonderful. I loved it. I am so glad we could do this, and hopefully we'll do this more. Thank you everyone so much.